These professional chefs all want to break into the top ranks of the world's culinary elite. Deciding who has the talent to cut it is MasterChef judge Gregg Wallace.
That is absolutely yummy. I'd polish it off in minutes.
And culinary legend Michel Roux Jr. With 2 Michelin stars, he's expecting perfection.
There's really very little that I like about this. In fact, there's nothing I like about it.
Cooking doesn't get better than this. These 4 chefs have been working in professional kitchens for years, but they want to prove they can compete at their industry's highest level.
We could today uncover a future great culinary talent. We are looking for the sort of chef who is after Michelin accolades.
We're looking for a chef who can cook great food. It's as simple as that. Everything on the final plate must be perfect.
In today's show, the professionals will be set 3 grueling tests. Only the best chef will make it through to the quarterfinal. In this, the first of the tests, the contestants will not be cooking for Michel. As one of only a handful of 2 Michelin star chefs in the country, the 4 contestants will have to earn the right to cook for him. To whittle them down to the best 3, he's sending in his senior sous chef Monica to judge them.
Move it! Get that garnish on the plate now!
Monica, my sous chef, has been working for me for over 5 years. I trust her judgment. I know that if she says it's all right, then it's good.
Monica wants to determine who she'd be prepared to put in front of Michel. Only the best 3 chefs will have the privilege to cook for him. The other will be going home.
Today's skill test is to julienne some leek and carrot, really finely sliced, not too thick, and they must all be the same size. The palate test is to make us the perfect crème anglaise, or custard. Eggs, milk up to the boil with the vanilla, yolks with the sugar. I don't see how they could go wrong.
2 good tests. One you have to do with speed, one you have to do with care. Let's get them in, see how they get on.
First up is junior sous chef Richard. He fell in love with cooking as a child, making cakes for his auntie's shop.
I'm going to walk into that room confident but not cocky and show some flair. I'm here to win MasterChef.
You've got 10 minutes. Off you go. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Halfway through, Richard. You've got 5 minutes to go. You're finished well in time. Well in time. You've probably got about 1.5 minutes to go. Well done.
Richard, skill test, julienne vegetables. The speed that you were going at, I'm surprised you didn't lose a finger. But obviously you've done this before. But they're all different sizes. You know, got some odd bits there, nicely thin bits, but you need them all uniform.
Let's have a look at this custard.
Great amount of vanilla comes through. Lovely, silky smooth, but I think it's just a bit too sweet.
Beautiful consistency, silky smooth on your tongue, lots of powerful vanilla in there.
I'm feeling great, yeah. You know, it's not an easy thing to cook in front of a senior sous for Michel Roux. You know, it's a nervous thing, and it's the first time I've ever done anything like that, and I'm confident what I produced. I just wish I slowed down a little touch.
Next is 26-year-old sous chef Roux, who started cooking in a pub at the age of 15.
I want to prove to myself, as well as to other people, what I can do and what my abilities are. It would be an absolute nightmare if I got knocked out today.
Got 10 minutes, off you go, best of luck.
You julienne vegetables a lot where you work?
I've done the wrong thing, haven't I? You said julienne, didn't you?
It's all right, you've got time, you've got the time.
Okay.
Let's go.
Last minute. Well done.
Thank you.
Reese, what you did first was not what I wanted. You did it in the end, it's what matters. However, it's not the perfect size julienne I was hoping for. Straight away, you can see it's too thick. It's no good to me. Michel wouldn't be pleased with that. The leek is not bad. It's getting there.
Let's have a look at your custard.
What I saw you do was pour that milk in and it was not boiled, meaning your yolk is not going to cook properly.
Yep.
And for me, it's just a bit eggy.
Okay.
The right balance of sweetness, but it's a little eggy flavour.
I don't feel I've shown that much potential to them because I have made some basic errors, but hopefully I can go through and show them what I'm actually capable of doing.
As executive head chef at Sandhurst, Robert has already cooked for royalty.
The pressure of cooking for dignitaries and high-profile guests that come to the Academy, I think it's going to help me through today's task.
10 minutes, off you go, Robert, good luck. Robert, you've got 4 minutes. Thirty seconds. 30 seconds. That's it. Time's up.
Right, Robert? That is perfect. The carrot is much too thick. You need to refine your technique, make it all the same size. For Michel, they must all be like this every time. It's not too sweet. It's really, really nice. Nice texture. You can see some vanilla through that, but color, very light. 1 or 2 more egg yolks and it would be perfect.
Good flavour. Just the right amount of sweetness.
I hope I have done enough today, and the small points that I got picked up on don't jeopardise me getting through to the heat, because I really want to show Michel Roux Jr. what style and what capability of a chef I am.
Last up is sous chef and father of 2, David. With 12 years' experience, his ambition is to open a gastropub.
I believe I'm a fantastic chef. I feel my skill and passion for cooking is definitely going to get me through the competition.
10 minutes, off you go. Just 2 minutes now. That's it, time's up.
David, watching you work, you showed very good knife technique. You took your time to slice that. The first bit of julienne that you did, the finer slices that you did, would have been perfect for Michel. And then you went ahead and put the rest of these bigger bits was a shame. It was going well. The leek, much too long.
Some good, some bad there. Let's have a look at this custard.
That is not a crème anglaise. It's sweet, vanilla-scented milk.
I know that, yeah, I know it's too thin.
It's beautifully flavoured milk, but it's milk nonetheless. Thank you, David.
I'm a bit annoyed about the crème anglaise. I know how to make it, but on the day, under pressure, with the nerves, it just got to me.
Not one of them delivered on both tasks, which I thought would be quite simple today.
Well, Richard did quite decent julienne, didn't he? And he did them very quickly.
Richard was very quick, I have to say. He needs to watch that. Out of the four, he seems the strongest. He had great taste in his anglaise, great consistency. I think Richard does deserve to go through.
Robert came in here and he gave us very good julienne leek. I mean, excellent julienne leek.
The leek was fantastic. Shame the carrots were too thick. Crème anglaise, great flavour, great consistency, just too pale. I think Robert should go through.
I agree. We have to decide between David and Rhys.
Rhys, in the beginning, misunderstood the instructions and he started to give us a diced vegetable instead of slice. His anglaise was a shame. That custard just tasted of raw egg. You really felt it on your tongue. David had great knife skills. He delivered the best julienne carrots. It's just a shame his leeks were too long.
David had great combination of flavours. That vanilla and sugar was absolutely right, but it wasn't a crème anglaise. He gave us a bowl of milk. We now have to decide who goes home out of Rhys or David. One gave us a bowl of milk instead of custard. One gave us custard that tasted of egg.
One of these guys has promise. I think Michel will see that too. The chef that's going to leave us today is Rhys. Well, that was meant to be your easy round today. Silly errors, which shouldn't happen. Next time round, you're cooking for Chef Michel. Good luck.
I'm so chuffed I've made it through to the next round. I'm itching now to get back in the kitchen and really demonstrate my skills.
I'm proper over the moon that I made it through. Just to cook for Michel Roux himself, that's just a goal in my career.
I thought my crème anglaise was too thin, it wasn't good enough. And I just basically thought that was me, done. And I was so pleased to get through.
It's day 2. Richard, Robert, and David are back. This time they have the chance to cook for Michel Roux Jr. To get through to the quarterfinal, they have to show him they can deliver the precise, inspiring food expected at this highest level.
For the versatility test, we have given you 6 diver-caught scallops. You have 50 minutes to cook 2 great dishes using those scallops.
At the end of today, 2 of you will be leaving us, but 1 of you will be a quarter-finalist. Good luck, gentlemen. Cook well. Enjoy. Off you go.
Their larder includes cauliflower, tomatoes, rice, chilies, rocket, black pudding, and olives. They also have a selection of plates for Michel to test their presentation skills.
If these chefs want to progress any further, they're going to have to impress us in the versatility test. It's a chance to show off. It's a chance to express themselves and to really go to town with the ingredients we give them. Scallops are so delicate. They have that wonderful flavour of the sea. It takes skill and dexterity to open the scallop shell properly without leaving too much meat attached to the shell. To sear the scallops properly, the pan must be smoking hot, so as you get that lovely, sweet, crisp exterior and slightly undercooked inside. If they're overcooked, they will be dry, bouncy, chewing gum horrible.
You're halfway, guys. You've only got 25 minutes left.
It's a major honour to be able to cook for Michel Roux today. Not many chefs get opportunity to cook for Michelin-starred chefs, so I'm going to make the most of it.
You seem more nervous now than you were
I know.
before.
Yeah, I'm never really. We don't really work with scallops in the shells at Sandhurst.
Well, it shows. I mean, you were struggling. You were struggling badly there.
How did you feel when you came in and saw them?
I was like, no way. I was really hoping for some nice protein, some poussin, some sea bass, you know. But I'm going to plough through it, do my best, and really try and concentrate on the flavours now and the sharpness of the dish.
Do you understand what we're looking for, Robert?
Perfection, chef. Perfection.
You've got 13 minutes left.
As soon as I'm in the kitchen, I'll be very nervous, but if there's 3 contestants in there, we'll all share the pressure.
Right, Richard. What are you cooking for us?
So today, with the scallops, I'm going to do a nice pan-seared scallop to start with a cauliflower puree, and then for the second dish, I'm going to do the herb risotto of rocket to finish with maybe a cheeky mango salsa.
Were you pleased to see scallops?
I was fairly pleased to see scallops because I work with them quite often, so I know the ingredient well, so I think I'm going to have 2 good dishes.
Do you really want to win this, Richard?
More than you believe.
Guys, last 10 minutes.
I'm not going to make it too fancy. I'm just going to make it my style, good quality and enjoyable.
What are you hoping to show us?
I'm hoping to show you I've got a skill, I've got a passion, and I'm just hoping to enjoy it and cook well and hopefully please your palate.
You've obviously worked with scallops in their shell before because you opened them very well.
Thank you.
Who are you doing this competition for, David?
My family, myself and my family. I've got 2 children, little boy and little girl, and I'm just wanting to make a better life for us all, really.
Come on, guys, you've got 3 minutes left, that's all. Let's move. We will call time on you. We will call time on you, Richard. You haven't played anything yet. That's it, time's up. Richard, time's up. We called it and called it, time's up.
23-year-old Richard has only managed to produce 1 dish: seared scallops with black pudding and herb risotto.
As soon as you saw the scallops, you had a smile on your face and you whipped them open beautifully. I mean, you've got the skills there. God knows what went wrong in your mind and your not understanding of timing. I mean, you must appreciate that timing is of the essence.
I'm just sounding like a guy who'll just blame his tools, but I just couldn't get the pan hot enough on the stovetop.
You were given 6-minute warning, 2-minute warning. You know, you've got to react. The scallops are undercooked. Your rice is cooked, but lacks seasoning. It's quite obviously not a finished dish.
Mm-hmm.
It's been rushed, and I'm sure it's not representative of what you, as a chef, would want to put in front of us.
You can't taste the risotto. There are 2 big flavours either side of it. One is sweetness of scallop, the other one is the earthiness of that blood pudding, that black pudding. The risotto is just a texture. We were going to get a mango and coriander cheeky sauce to go with that risotto. What happened to that?
I was thinking about making it at the start, like I said, but obviously time got the better of me. It defeated me.
Father of 2, David's first dish is seared scallops, cauliflower puree, and an olive, tomato, and chili dressing.
Well-cooked scallops, well-seasoned scallops. Cauliflower puree is very nice and creamy. Texture, very good. I'm not keen on the tomato skins in this salsa. You've also cut the chili straight across and kept it quite big. I've chewed on one and it's a big kick there. But the balance of flavour is good.
I think your flavours are lovely. Sweet, creamy cauliflower, sweet yet slightly acidic tomato, and the real acidity of that olive is really lovely against the sweetness, natural sweetness of that scallop.
For his second dish, David has made seared scallops with a chili and spring onion risotto and a tomato and rocket salad.
Those lovely, beautiful scallops, they're hidden under a big bush of rocket and tomatoes on the vine. It's too rustic, too simple.
Okay.
You've seared the scallops well. They've got that nice, crisp, golden exterior, warm, yet still pink inside, which is lovely. The risotto, however, is very, very chalky, and it's sticking to my teeth, and I don't like it.
Your scallop's lovely. Sweetness of tomato against it is wonderful. Unseasoned rocket salad, not great. But the risotto, it isn't cooked. It isn't cooked properly. It's still chalky.
When Michel Roux Jr. said my first dish was flavoursome, seasoned well, I was over the moon.
Army chef Robert wants to prove his skill with his first dish of pan-seared scallops, cauliflower puree, a beurre blanc sauce and chips.
Robert, we know that you don't normally work with scallops in the shell, and it shows. You have damaged quite a few of them, and obviously they're not uniform in shape or size, which is not what we're looking for. Scallops are well seasoned, and they have been well seared. They're cooked through. The cauliflower puree is a little bit grainy. Could be a lot smoother than that. The little chips don't actually bring that much to the dish. Your classic beurre blanc, you can see that you've been classically trained. It is nice and rich, yet not too heavy and well seasoned.
There are things on there that are well made. I'm not convinced that they all should be on that same plate together.
For his second dish, he's made pan-seared scallops with a sweet and sour tomato relish, rocket salad, and a balsamic and garlic reduction.
Tomato relish is really nice. It's got a good balance to it of sweet, sour, a little kick to it as well. It's well seasoned, and it works really well, I feel, with the scallops and that well-dressed rocket leaf salad. The sweet balsamic reduction, flavoured with garlic, on the side there is a step too far. It's far too sweet, far too strong, and you end up with a lot of sugar in the mouth, and it just doesn't work.
Garlic, a little bit of seasoning, sweet tomato, sweet scallop. It's lovely. It's lovely. That balsamic is threatening to throttle it.
Why did I bother with the balsamic dressing? Too much, shouldn't have done it. I took the comments on board, trying to impress the legend Michel Roux too much.
Not the greatest round we've seen, guys, to be fair. Not the greatest round we've seen. But there's obviously potential here. We have another big round to come. It could all change. Off you go.
I must say I am disappointed. I can see real potential in the kitchens, but they did make mistakes. And it is such a shame. I mean, those beautiful scallops, I was expecting a lot more from them. As soon as Richard saw the scallops and we said go, he was in there. I mean, straight away, within 3 minutes, he'd opened his scallops, and beautifully well. They were the best opened scallops out of all three chefs. They were perfect. And then from there on in, he just lost it completely.
I called out the timing and I didn't see him move any faster, and so I got near his bench, called it out again, and he just carried on at the same pace.
He gave us only one plate of food, and even then, I mean, it wasn't brilliant. The scallops were slightly underdone. He has a big problem, and he is going to have to deliver totally faultless food in the classic recipe test, because he's already got 1 foot out of here.
My honest opinion, I'm last at the minute, but with the second round, the classical round, I'm going to beast it and show them what I'm made of.
For me, David had the outstanding dish of the round. Beautiful scallops on top of a very well-made cauliflower puree and a sauce of tomato and chilli and olives.
Really good flavour combinations. It was a little rustic, a little bit too rustic for my liking. Tomato skins in there. The chilli was roughly chopped. He needs refinement, but he understands taste because that first dish was delicious.
His second dish didn't work at all. Its appearance was big, stodgy, not refined, and it didn't cook the risotto.
It was heavy, it was too rustic, it was not good.
The next round with a classic recipe test, I'm going to really push the boat out. I'm going to really show Michel Roux Jr. that I can do it.
In Robert's first dish, he'd given us some herbs strewn over the plates, the cauliflower puree, the beurre blanc, black pudding, and chips. There was just too much going on that plate.
He is putting together really good classic combinations, and then he's adding more and more embellishments and ruining it.
On the second scallop dish, he gave us a really good tomato relish and well-dressed rocket salad, but then ruined this plate by giving us a sickly sweet, garlicky, balsamic reduction. I don't think he had the confidence to just stop.
The competition is open, we're all learning, we're all getting criticised, so I put myself maybe a good each way bet.
For the classic recipe test, we are asking you to cook rognon à la diable, deviled kidneys. We also want you to cook a classic French fruit tart.
1 hour, 20 minutes, we are looking for a quarter-finalist. Good luck, off you go.
The classics are there for a reason. They are the foundations of gastronomy. The chef that understands the classics will be able to go all the way, to the very top.
Their first classic recipe, rognon à la diable, or deviled kidneys, was a popular breakfast dish in Victorian times. The spicy deviled sauce is made with mustard, cayenne pepper and Worcestershire sauce.
We're asking them to cook deviled kidneys. Quite simply delicious. We're giving them calves' kidneys. The deviled part of this recipe is the sauce. It has to be, as the word says, deviled, hot and spicy. The chefs have got to have a delicate touch with the kidneys. Overcooked kidneys are chewy and horrible. Undercooked kidneys are vile. They have to be nicely seared on the outside and ideally rested for at least 10 minutes so that they release that excess blood and liquid.
Their second recipe, a classic fruit tart, is a French patisserie favourite. A short crust pastry case filled with crème pâtissière or pastry cream and topped with glazed fruit.
For dessert, we're asking them to cook a classic French fruit tart. This may sound simple, but it is an extremely complex dessert. The pastry has to be rolled out to the right thickness. Too thick and it won't be nice to eat. Too thin, it will collapse. The pastry cream they have to get right, and I don't want to see any lumps in there. And then beautifully and delicately arrange the fruit of their choice on top. I want to see stunning patisserie.
30 minutes you've had. You've had 30 minutes.
Right, Robert, do you understand the recipes?
Yes, chef.
Have you learnt a lesson from the last round then, do you think?
I have indeed, yeah. Don't complicate things, keep them simple and make sure the components work with each other.
You seem much happier as well, Robert. Why is that?
Just calm down and relax now, and I'm enjoying it. I've not got any scallops to contend with.
Why MasterChef, Robert?
Cooking's all I've ever done, and the one thing I feel I've really been good at in my life. And I think if you're good at something and you enjoy doing it, get to the top of your game and do the best you can.
Good luck.
Robert feels and looks confident, but can he deliver uncomplicated, tasty, good-looking food?
Without any silly embellishment. You have 35 minutes left.
Right, Richard. I saw that you were starting off at 100 miles an hour. Have you worked with pastry before?
Yes, chef. I've worked with pastry for quite a while.
Are you going to deliver this time?
Yes.
What's the change?
That I've made a mistake and I don't like making mistakes. I learn from my mistakes.
What do you have to produce to get that quarter-final place now?
Perfection and 2 smiles from 2 judges.
Richard says he loves pastry. This is a time for him to show off and get it right and on time.
The stakes are very high for Richard right now. He simply cannot afford one single mistake.
Right, David, do you understand these recipes?
If I'm honest with you, not 100%.
Where's the gap in your knowledge then, David?
I haven't trained in the classical French cookery line of things. I've worked since I've been 16 years old, and I just haven't been trained on that side of things.
In the first round, you had issues with refinement. How are you going to refine these 2 dishes?
I'm going to make them presentable as well as I can, and I'm going to show on the plate nice decoration, finish them off with nice garnishes.
6 minutes. That's all you've got. 6 minutes. David doesn't look that comfortable with these 2 classic recipes. The big question for me is whether he can deliver the big flavours that he did in the last round, but make his food refined at the same time.
He has to give us fancy food now. Simple as that.
You've got 1 minute, guys. Just 1 minute. 60 seconds. Time's up. That's it. Time's up.
With a quarter-final place at stake, the chef's classic dishes must reach the standard Michel requires. First under scrutiny are their devilled kidneys. Richard has chosen to serve his kidneys with broad beans, bread, and the devilled sauce on the side.
The kidneys are very pink. They haven't rested, which means the blood has leached into the plate. Had you cooked them 5 minutes earlier, left them on the side in somewhere warm, this wouldn't have happened. The sauce is very, very good. The kidneys have been perfectly cut into really nice, good-looking nuggets. But I still have that lingering doubt about timing.
I'll be in 2 minds whether to send it back. If I didn't send it back, I definitely wouldn't finish it. Too pink. Far too pink.
David has served his devilled kidneys on toast with broad beans.
It does actually look appetising, but it looks a bit messy. It looks sloppy. Good combinations. It's got the right amount of mustard and a good kick to it, which is nice. That's what a devilled sauce is supposed to have. It's very tasty.
I really, really enjoy that. Those kidneys are really well cooked. They've got a certain amount to give to them, but they are rich, they are deep.
Robert has made mashed roasted potato, swede and shallots and croutons to go with his kidneys.
The kidneys are cooked properly. A good sauce. The accompaniment of the crushed roast potato, onion and swede is quite sweet and does actually work well with that sauce.
Kidneys well cooked. I like the sweetness of the swede on top of the mashed potato. I think that's a very good idea. I'd like a little bit more spice in your sauce.
It's the last chance for the chefs to impress the judges with their fruit tart.
Richard, let's look at yours.
Richard has made a mixed berry tart and decorated his plate with a raspberry coulis.
It tastes really good, and you've got the texture there as well because the pastry is fully cooked, so it's crumbly, crisp, and I would very happily eat a big portion of that.
Yeah, that's yummy, my friend. That is absolutely yummy. I'd polish it off in minutes.
I came back with a fight. 2 smiles I got at the end, so I'm very happy.
David has made a mixed fruit tart and a berry coulis.
First of all, I'm not so keen. In fact, I don't like strawberries with the stalk still left in. Good pastry, cooked all the way through, so it's nice and crisp. The sauce is nice. Taste-wise, full of flavour. It's just not neat.
I think it tastes glorious. I think it's lovely. The pastry is light, it's crumbling. There is vanilla going through that cream, but it looks like it was done by a 7-year-old.
I will make it better, and it won't look like a 7-year-old's dog's dinner. It'll be presented beautifully next time.
Robert has served his fruit tart with cream and berries.
The pastry is far too thick. It's very heavy, and it's not cooked enough. We asked for a fruit tart. It should be predominantly fruit. It's not light. It's not refined. I'm afraid there's really very little that I like about this. In fact, there's nothing I like about it, to be terribly honest, Robert.
I find myself munching down on pastry that isn't quite set and is far too thick. That's a shame.
Desserts let me down, very much so. Strawberries, fruits of the forest with vanilla cream, great. It was just the pastry doorstep that I put underneath them.
I think it's fair for me to say we have had a day of ups and downs. Now, Chef and I have got to decide which of you is our quarter-finalist. We'll get you back in as soon as we know. Off you go, thank you. The classic recipe test did prove more successful than the versatility test.
I think they all shone to a certain extent and actually did deliver the goods.
I'd like to talk about Richard because he had an absolute disaster in the first round.
You cannot afford to mess up on timing like that. In the classic recipe test, he came out and was absolutely motoring.
I think Richard needed to have a very good classic recipe test, and he almost did.
The kidneys were beautifully prepared. Richard definitely has got knife skills.
But the blood seeping out, for me, was off-putting. And they were undercooked.
He should have cooked them with about 10 minutes to go and let them rest. Had he done that, we wouldn't have had a pool of blood in our plates. I thought his dessert looked great. It was presented beautifully and had the right balance of flavour.
I think I can just nick it because they can see the potential of the skills I have, the craft, the presentation, the eye, the finish, everything you need to be a MasterChef.
David is a really interesting kettle of fish. I mean, one of his scallop dishes was the scallops on top of a great big lump of uncooked risotto, about as far removed from celebrated, refined dishes as you could expect to find. His second dish was very tasty, perfectly cooked scallops on top of a cauliflower puree, nice and sweet.
He had chilli, olives, olive oil and tomato in there, and that worked incredibly well with the scallops. The chilies were cut a bit too big and he had left some tomato skin in there, which lacked refinement.
And that was the pattern for the whole of his day.
He gave us some very well-cooked kidneys. I have no doubt that he has a good palate. He's given us very tasty food.
His fruit tart, good flavours of fruit, nice cream in the middle, good pastry. It looked ridiculous. He had 2 great big lumps of strawberry with the green still on.
We are looking for refinement and elegant plates of food. Can he deliver that?
I basically want to cook and just prove to them guys I can present food nicely. I can present food with passion. I can present the food beautifully on the plate.
Yeah, Robert's no mean cook. I mean, he has got quite a few skills up his sleeve. He cooks scallops very well. He made us a very good beurre blanc. He made us a cauliflower puree. He made us little chips.
Everything on that plate was good, but there was just too much. On the second dish, the scallops themselves were well cooked and well seasoned, and that little tomato relish was really tasty. It had the skin still in it, but it worked really well with the scallop. What didn't work was the addition of that very sickly sweet balsamic and garlic vinegar. Robert proved that he had listened and taken on board what we said in the versatility test, because the kidney dish was an improvement. He gave us a garnish of crushed roast potatoes with onions and crushed swede, which was quite tasty. I thought worked well with the strong flavoured kidneys.
Unfortunately, it all fell apart a little bit for him with the fruit tart. He got the pastry completely wrong. It wasn't crumbly, it was almost chewy, and it was the thickness of a doorstop.
Can we take a gamble on Robert? With a bit of guidance, will he be able to go that extra mile?
If I went home today, I'd be very disappointed, and I would feel that Michel, Roux and Gregg have not had the chance to really see what I'm capable of.
I see promise in all of them, Chef, but it is fair to say that not one of them has ticked every single one of our boxes.
The chef going through to the quarterfinal is David.
Thank you. I feel over the moon. I'm just really, really pleased.
Very disappointed not to go through to the quarterfinal. Too many mistakes, I guess, school errors, but I wish David all the best.
I've been a chef since I was 14. You can't just turn it off just like that because you've not won a competition. You know, you just got to strive forward and prove people wrong.
I'm shaking. I can't wait to tell my fiance, my little girl and my little boy are going to be so pleased for me. I believe this is it now. This is me. I can definitely move to the next level.
David will be back for the quarter-final to battle it out for the title of Professional MasterChef.